The most obvious thing with the Strandberg compared to other guitars I played is I used to have a big guitar with like a huge body that would stick out, and I had to change my whole body after it. And it weighs a lot, so I can't stand up with it because after a while it will start to hurt. The Strandberg is tiny and it's very light, so a fantastic instrument at the same time, which has not been my experience. First time I tried to play a guitar was when I was 7 years old, and I had tried different instruments before, but that was the first instrument I felt right away that it made sense. Like it felt natural for me, which also doesn't make sense because I think it's the instrument that makes the least sense with its system, with the strings and how it's tuned. So when I was 10, I got my first own guitar, and by then I had been listening a lot to metal music, but mostly I was obsessed with Jimi Hendrix and all the blues men that he had been listening to. This is Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies, and yeah, it's one of the first LPs I bought ever. Eventually I got an electric guitar, and it was a real bluesy kind of guitar. Because I had been exposed to so much classical music and jazz fusion also from my parents, I felt this need for like going other places harmonically and instrument technically. This is the Jimi Hendrix Experience BBC sessions, and this is the first CD I ever bought, and yeah, I went for the one that had the most music on it, and it's all live recordings. It's really good album. I think I had it on my stereo, which I still have, as a wake-up alarm every day when I was 11 until 12 or something. And I started composing a lot. I started my own trio, because that's what Pat had on his first album. I wanted my own trio when I was about 15, I think. And yeah, I started to play gigs with this group, and eventually I applied to Berklee, where the legendary teacher Mick Goodrick was teaching. Here is a part of my collection of Mick Goodrick books, and yeah, I think he gave all of these to me, and it's both his thick volume of it's guitar voice leading. It's like every possible combination of every chord, which I think no one has done this, and he felt I have to do this. There's a book of all these pieces transcribed for piano, which my dad, who's a piano player, he plays them sometimes. I started studying with Mick, and I got more deeper into that sort of tradition and style, and then I moved back to Sweden after 2 years because of a lot of reasons. So over the past 10 years I've been mostly in Sweden, but going on tours with my trio, and I've also been going back to my roots, sort of, with the classical music, and started to compose for classical musicians, but also play with classical musicians, which I think has been a big thing for me, performing with the viola player Ellen Nisbet, who is one of the greatest of those in Sweden, and who I'm playing with tonight.